Records indicate Jim LeBlanc as first survivor of near-zero atmospheric pressure. Recommending study of event if similar event occurs.
Welcome to New Homestead. Please make your way to the building at the end of the path and down into the colony below. Stay safe and enjoy your visit.
Need some work done? Anything I can help you with? Okay, no problem.
Enjoy your visit here.
Careful. There are some dangerous areas around here that are not part of any tours.
We take vandalism seriously here. You do not mess with history.
It's a little weird that people come here to see what early colony life was like. To me, it's just how we live.
I could really go for some onions cooking over at the Brown Horse.
My daddy says farming is really important, but I kind of want to do other things. Hello? I'm not really supposed to talk with tourists, but I kind of want to anyway. And I don't think my papa is paying attention. You're not going to tell him, are you? No, don't. I mean, actually, it's okay. If I'm going to get in trouble anyway, then I'm just going to talk. But, still, please don't tell him. Now what should we talk about? Bye!
You get used to the methane processing smell. After a while. We used to get more tourists than we do these days.
Some of us are quite happy with our lives here. We don't need tourists distracting us with their flights of fancy. We get a lot of tourists out this way, but most of them aren't so bold as to strike up conversations with us. What's your deal? Sorry, usually when the tourists say that, it means they want something. Free local produce, a picture, or something else I don't intend to give. So what can I do for you? Mm-hmm.
I don't mind the tourists. They help the local economy.
No disrespect, but I'd appreciate if you let me and my family be.
Did you know that Earth had all sorts of cool animals? Actually, lots of planets do. But not this one. Sad, huh?
Running this farm with my family for the sake of our little colony is one of the greatest pleasures in life.
We were learning about Jemison in my class the other day. Can we go there someday, Mama?
Ah, someone new. Are you a tourist, or have you just moved to New Homestead? Well, there's lots to learn. You can always feel free to try one of the historical tours, or ask the locals about life here. I'm fascinated by the other worlds in the settled systems. Do you mind if I ask you a question? Oh, wonderful. What's New Atlantis like? Maybe my grandmother was right all along, then. We shouldn't look to other colonies with envy and learn to appreciate what we have here. I guess I can understand why so many people want to come visit us then. They're just longing to escape to a simpler life, I suppose. Do you mind if I ask you another question? Thanks. I promise not to take too much of your time. Is the Freestar Collective as lawless as I've heard? That does sound dangerous. Even though we're only a small colony and we're far from the rest of the UC, they still provide us with plenty of security. And our local guards are just great. We rarely have trouble unless it comes from unruly tourists and cargo pilots stopping on their way to Sidonia. Is it okay if I change the subject? Oh, thank you. Are there really planets full of plants, fresh air, and water? I've read about them. It seems incredible, doesn't it? I've only ever known Titan, and it's always so cold and drab. I've always dreamed of visiting one to breathe the air, feel the warmth of its sun, but my husband is reluctant to leave our home. Can I ask you something else? Thanks. I promise not to take too much of your time. Is space travel as exciting as it seems? I've heard stories about pirates and spaceship malfunctions and all sorts of terrible things. I've always wanted to try going into space, but I'm also worried about all those dangers. Maybe people here are right. The dangers here are few, and we know how to take care of them. Space is too unknown. Those are all the questions I have at the moment. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day for me.
Sure would be nice to get off-world sometime.
Chunksy ran out of special sauce again. It sounded like that
It's
Lufa
one
guy
thing to
would
learn
pay
about
someone
early
to get it
colony
for
life.
him.
It's another to experience it.
We've got the best chunks in the settled systems. Hello there. Welcome to the new Homestead chunks. We've got all your chunks' favorites. Well, almost all of them. Sadly, we're out of the special sauce. I know. But everything else is still that great chunks food you know and love. So, what can I do for you? Well, people gotta eat, you know? But seriously, I think we're just starting to get with the times a little. And I can't think of a better restaurant than Chunks to usher that in. I think corporate just saw New Homestead as an untapped market. Yeah, the locals may not eat it, but the tourists love having a taste of home. Oh, you had to go and ask the hard questions, huh? How can I pick just one? There's chicken chunks, beef chunks, potato chunks, cheesesteak chunks, cheesecake chunks. You know what? I'm gonna cheat if you don't mind, and just say I love them all equally. If I'm completely honest, it is. And people are always saying how this chunks can't compare to the real deal. And I just know it's because we never had that mouth-watering sauce. I've been in contact with some of the other restaurants out there, and they'll give me some. But they say they can't afford to send it, and I don't have a ship, so what am I to do? You bet it is. You may not hear people talk about it, but trust me, it's the secret ingredient. It's like the glue that holds it all together. I mean, not literally. I'm not saying it's glue or that our food falls apart. It's delightful. Tangy, savory, it's a little sweet, but not too sweet. And I've noticed that once people find out we don't have it, sometimes they don't return. It's the reason business isn't as good as other chunks. For real, good question. Now, they haven't said, but I think it has something to do with them prioritizing other chunks over mine. I guess it's made at a different facility than our other food, and they don't even want to pay the shipping cost to ship from another store to ours. Sometimes I get lucky and a cargo hauler passes through with a route that takes them near other chunks and back again, but there's no guarantee. Wait, for real? You do that? You're not pulling my leg? Oh, yeah, right. I actually just got a message back from another chunks before you got here, and they got a case ready to go for me. Just tell them you're there to pick it up for me, and it should be good to go. Thanks.
Welcome to Chunks, home of the best chunks in the settled systems.
Ooh, I can't wait until it's time to eat. I'm gonna use our discount to get a bunch of different chunks and mix them all up. Try some new flavor profiles. Say
What biz?
It's been a while since I
What are you
last
talking
visited. Nice to
you
see
know,
this place
the
still
foodie
has the
biz,
same charm.
chefs and all that. It's a thing we do.
We get cases of refrigerated chunks and we just heat them up. We don't, like, make anything. You are really into chunks, huh?
Yeah, it's the greatest. Can't believe you're so down on it. We have the best job on Titan.
Whatever. I'm just doing this job to help my family pay the bills and save up so I can pay for my education. And I am out of here.
Did you know the museum here is full of old Earth artifacts? Cool, huh?
Hi there.
Am I glad they have
Always
chunks
nice
here.
seeing you face.
What did we think of the tour?
Very informative. I didn't know about the methane harvesters before coming here.
The, Brown Horse Tavern, was it, huh? The food was better than I expected from a backwoods planet like this.
It has a quaint charm, doesn't it?
Just like the rest of New Homestead.
Well, I hope you'll come back and see us again sometime. And I hope you'll consider another Star Sap tour. Tell your friends.
Bye. We will. Thanks again.
Excuse me, Bill. You've got to do a better job of keeping your tour groups out of trouble.
What do you mean?
That little boy almost wound up on my operating table. Claudio said he was playing with some of the machinery down by the mines and nearly got his arm stuck inside. It could have been ripped off.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, kids, little troublemakers. I'll tell the guests to be more careful.
Damn right. You've got to do something, or else next time it happens, I'm billing you personally.
Yeesh.
This colony's a lot smaller than I thought it would be.
Great. Another tourist. Let me guess. You slipped on the ice and need a doctor to wrap your sprained ankle?
I'm sorry. What don't you get?
Earth? Like, what's the big deal? It's just
They do, but they're also a terrible burden for a small colony doctor like myself. I have enough trouble treating our own people with the time and resources I have.
Imaginable history. I cannot overstate how important...
I appreciate that you're trying to set me at ease, but that might as well be the same.
I guess so.
Sorry for how I responded. It's not you, it's me. I'm just frustrated about all the non-native people I need to treat when our own still need help. Anyway, what can I do for you? I don't. They make a mockery of New Homestead culture. And on top of it, they're reckless. It's like I said before, I feel like I'm treating them more often than our own people. Actually, maybe there is. I have an idea that may be best suited for someone relatively unknown, instead of myself. I've got a mountain of work and a reputation to maintain. So I bought a realistic monster costume. The plan was to wear it, scare tourists away, and start a rumor about terrible creatures living on Titan. I figure that once word gets around, tourism will take enough of a dive to give me some relief. That's the spirit. To be honest, I'm not sure it'll work either, but I feel like there's no harm in trying. Here's the costume. I think this will work best on the surface, so just find a group and run up to them, acting like a convincing alien monster. With any luck, they'll run screaming and book the next flight out of here.
Don't stay outside for too long here on Titan. We'll freeze solid without the proper protection.
Warm food, cold drinks.
So then I
what else could you want?
That we churn our own butter. He completely bought it.
You didn't.
I did. I know I shouldn't have, but I just wanted to see how they'd react.
But aren't they going to think we're even more old-fashioned?
Why not order
than they
some food
already
and
believe?
make yourself comfortable?
That's a good point. They already gawk at us like we're some sort of ancient curiosity.
Oh, I'm just trying to have a little fun. But you're probably right.
Do you want to know what life was like for the early colonists? Starsap Tours was voted Best Historic Tour 3 years in a row. Why, hello there! I'm Bill Starsap of Starsap Tours. Let me tell you, this place is full of history and interesting facts. For instance, did you know that New Homestead was one of the first colonies established outside of Earth? It's been populated in some capacity for over 200 years. Well, there's plenty more where that came from if you're interested in taking one of my famous tours. So what do you say? I've got an opening. I could take you on a tour right now if you'd like. None taken. I get it all the time. If you think it sounds made up, well, that's because it is. I come from an eccentric family. Back in the early days of space travel, generations ago, my ancestors were really into science fiction. They wanted a name that seemed like it fit into the stories they grew up with, so they changed their last name, and the Starsap family name was born. Used to be Bramblefoot before that. Their ancestors liked a different type of fiction. definitely check out the Brown Horse Tavern. Good food, great atmosphere. Avoid spending too much time outdoors. It's freezing out there. Any more than that, and well, I'd be giving away the tour for free. Excellent! You won't regret it. My tours are one of a kind. Now, there's just the matter of price. The going rate for a genuine Starsap tour is only 100 credits. Well, 100 credits is very reasonable, I think. I know, I gotta work on my pitch a little. Maybe I could give you a discount just this once to prove my tour is worth it. Sorry, I appreciate the offer, but exposure doesn't put food on my table. I assure you it wasn't intentional. I really should have been upfront about the price. I thought maybe you saw one of the flyers. Maybe I could do something for you. Tell you what, I like you. This one's on the house, but if you enjoyed the tour, I'd really appreciate if you'd tell all your friends about me when it's done. So let's get this show on the road, eh? All right, so this is New Homestead's main concourse. This underground area didn't exist when the original outpost, Titan Astro Base, was finished in 2130. Follow me. We'll come back here by the end of the tour and talk about the museum collection. But first, let's go see where people live. Now remember, these people aren't actors. They actually live here, so try to be respectful of that. While the original inhabitants of the Titan Astro Base lived in pods like you saw up above, they transitioned down here when this section of the base was finished in 2144. Space is extremely limited, so you'll notice some overflow here, but more residences also exist on lower levels, which are inaccessible to tours. I'll stop at each of our destinations if you want to look around, or if you have any questions for me. Have any questions so far? Sadly, it's difficult to get additional construction done inside these underground caverns. So for now, additional populations are housed in these stacks of old shipping crates. As you might expect, this is where some of the less wealthy can afford to live. It's not glamorous, but they are functional and cozy. The original Titan Astro Base had more habitation pods on the surface connected to some of the old structures you may have seen in the back. As the colony grew, the base was expanded underground, and those hab units were recycled into materials used down here. I'm not sure the exact count, but New Homestead is a fairly small colony. What you see is what you get for the most part, except for some other people who live in the private lower levels. Some, particularly security, and yours truly, even commute from other worlds. Oh sure, I'll be here waiting. The locals love to talk with tourists, but they'll let you know if they're busy, so please respect them.
much energy! I want to run around!
Off-worlders always ask how I can live here. I wonder how they can live anywhere else.
Someone's gotta talk to Joyce about these brownouts. Those folks in Snow.
Some say New Homestead is a backwoods world. Maybe it is, but that doesn't really bother me. Oh, you don't really want to talk to me. I'm just a nobody from the crates. Besides, I'm not really good at talking to tourists about New Homestead. If you're really interested in our history, talk to Maurice. He's a lot better at that than I am. I feel like it sometimes. I don't have many friends, and I'm struggling to stay in my undergrad program. It feels like I'm never going to get out of here and make a name for myself. Anyway, if we're going to talk, maybe we should talk about something else. The crates are what we call the living quarters for the poor people, like me. They're made from old shipping containers. We have to make do with the space we have here. They're comfortable enough, I guess. And no one on Titan is well off to begin with, but you can tell that people look down on us, especially some of the tourists. Well, I'm trying to finish up my undergrad schooling, actually. I want to be a physicist like my grandmother. Then, who knows what. But I also do some odd jobs here or there for money. Sometimes I help Jay out at his shop, and he gives me stuff in return. Sometimes I help Anya clean up at the Brown Horse when she's short-staffed. That sort of thing. It's not as bad as you'd think. I like talking to off-worlders, especially people my age. It gives me ideas for what I want to do when I'm done with school. Because, honestly, I'm not sure I want to stay here. It'll always be my home, but as soon as I can afford to, I'd love to explore my options. Okay, well, no, not the studies specifically. Like, I get good grades when I'm able to apply myself. But I'm poor. I just don't have the kind of money to be a full-time student and support myself. Even living in the cheap-ass crates. I keep having to take odd jobs just to put food on my plate. And when I do, my grades suffer. I just feel like I'll be stuck in a rut forever. Really? I thought it was the only way. I remember my parents telling me that when they were still around. But maybe you're right. I guess I can put my studies on hold, at least until I get enough credits saved up to live on. I can always return to my studies then. Maybe part of the reason I feel I've been stuck in a rut is because I push myself too hard. Thanks for the advice. It helped. See you around, maybe. Worlders have it made. Thanks for saying what you said to me. That was really good advice. Okay, well, no. But I keep having to take odd jobs. What? Really? I don't know what to say. This is beyond kind of you. I mean, I don't even know you, but wow. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by to talk. I know you didn't have to give me money, but thanks. I appreciate it.
Lots of history here, if you're into that sort of thing.
Hey.
I can't wait to go.
Have any questions so far? Alrighty. We'll be taking the residential elevator to the farms area on the surface level. This way, please. Let's leave these good people alone for now and go check out the farms. Follow me up the elevator. New Homestead's farms are the beating heart of the colony. Without them, the original outpost would have shriveled and died. Vegetation needed for survival in the early days of the colony.
If you need medical attention, see Dr. McClarence. But I borrowed a
Any questions about the farms? Good question. It's largely the same, because this was the colony that pioneered the techniques you see elsewhere. But you'll notice that the farms here are smaller and staffed by humans, not robots. Things here are a little more old-fashioned compared to some of the large factory farms you'll find elsewhere in the settled systems. These days, it's a mix of what you find elsewhere in the galaxy, but in the olden days, it was all brought over from Earth. It was a lot of hardy root vegetables like potatoes, carrots, beets, and such, supplemented with corn, peas, green beans, soy, etc., which didn't always grow as well. Onward it is! We'll be stopping by the Brown Horse Tavern later in the tour, which uses many of these locally sourced ingredients in their cooking. But for now, it's just a short way to our next stop. Follow me! So, the old biolabs are just on the other side of this building, believe it or not. We'll step on through the hallway there. They're not in use anymore, but the colony has faithfully recreated them as a historical exhibit, true to the original purpose of the Titan Astrobase. Sadly, they're undergoing some light renovation. Otherwise, there'd be interactive activities for kids to learn about how they used to search for microbial life here. Pardon the dust, but I can still answer some questions about the old Titan Astrobase biolabs. Oh, I'm sorry. I completely forgot to mention that. That's what this place was originally called. When NASA divested its interest in the Astrobase and turned it over to the people back in 2185, they renamed it New Homestead and established it as a historical site. Funny you should ask. Sadly, none. See, NASA funded the Titan Astrobase project because conditions seemed ripe for primordial life to form in Titan's methane pools. They tested many different sites, performed deep core ice drilling, and more, yet nothing turned up. Well, NASA defunded the xenobiology program in 2132, but a scientist by the name of Catherine Neely proposed research into advanced colony building on inhospitable worlds. So, by 2135, work began on what would ultimately set us all up to create habitats anywhere humans dared to explore. These very labs housed the computer systems used in that research. That and general storage for the colony. Lots of storage. You got it. On to our next stop. Next, we'll be heading outside.
Hello.
So make sure to check those seals on your suit because it's a bit chilly out there. We're going out into the frozen wastes of Titan to see what powers this planet. Watch your step outside, by the way. The ice can be slippery if you're not careful. The goal is to keep people out of Dr. Lakota's infirmary.
Homestead is a
Titan's such an incredible place for renewable energy. Oh, hello there. Are you here about the brownouts? That's usually the only reason people come up here to talk to me, since I'm the power system manager here. Of course you did. That's okay. It's a problem here. Citizens and visitors alike have a right to know what's going on and when to expect a fix. Problem is, I don't know how long we'll have to deal with this, because I'm needed here to oversee the whole system, and we don't currently have anyone available to go out and solve the issue at the moment. Did you see those huge wind turbines out there on your way in? They're our primary source of power generation. Titan's strong winds provide an almost constant source of power, as long as we can keep the machinery from icing over. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I'm a little new to the job, and I'll admit I'm struggling a little bit. I could use some help. I could use someone who's handy with a laser cutter to break up the ice that's formed on some of the power system machinery out there. That should clear up the shorts we've been experiencing and stop the brownouts. Does that sound like something you can do? Of course! I can spare some credits once the power comes back on full force after you clear the ice. Please, take care not to hurt yourself or damage the equipment while you're out there. I'll stay here and monitor the power systems. Thanks!
Generating energy was a real challenge back in the day. Technology was much more complicated. But true or not, it was that technology that sustained the old Astrobase. And it might surprise you to learn that the same technology is still working today.
was chosen for the colony in part because of its constant winds. These turbines have been integral to the colony's function since its establishment as a cheap, mostly reliable source of electricity. Get away from me!
No! Leave me alone!
It's chasing me! Run away! Oh, get away! Get away! What is that? Get away! Get away!
No! Leave me alone!
You get used to the methane processing smell after a while.
Just got a message. Looks like we got another leak in Sector 3.
Again? That's the second time this month.
I know. I'll send someone to go patch it up again. We do what we gotta do until we can get the approval to replace the hole.
It's chasing me!
Off-worlders always ask how I can live here. I wonder how they can live anywhere else.
Get out of here! He's coming after us!
So, let's talk about wind power, shall we? You're looking at a piece of history. Sure, wind power is used throughout the galaxy, but these people were able to make do with it for hundreds of years. It's impressive that was all they had back then, and still make it work to this day. You're the boss. Let's go. Moving right along, we're going to learn about Titan's great natural resources. Titan is rich with hydrocarbons like methane and ethane. Surely you saw huge pools of the stuff on your descent into New Homestead. I like to think they add to the natural beauty of this world. Though, of course, stay away from them because, like anything beautiful, they can be dangerous. Just like my last ex-wife's pet. She had this gorgeous, I don't know what you'd call it, creature. The guy that sold it to her couldn't tell her what it was or where it was from. I don't think it was even a legal sell, to be honest. The thing was very easy on the eyes. Feathers, all the colors of the rainbow. Nasty bite, though. Wound up in the hospital and almost lost my hand. Still not enough for her to get rid of the dang thing. Anyway, there's a reason she's my ex-wife. But enough about me. We were talking about methane and other resources, right? Hey, can you believe it? Back in the 20th century on Earth, they used to fight wars over natural resources like this and petroleum. They had this whole moon here basically made of hydrocarbons in their own backyard. They just couldn't get to it. Incredible how far we've come. New Homestead is home to one of the oldest and largest methane processing plants in the settled system. Every year, UC engineers go through a painstaking, month-long maintenance process. That's how this place has remained operational as long as it has. I'm not going to take you too close to the machinery, liability and all, but I can still answer questions. Questions? Fire away! It's not as if they shut down for a month. It's not shut down at all, actually. See, this place is built with redundant systems, so they can shut it down piece by piece and suffer only a reduction in throughput. During that time, the UC gets more of its resources from other places, allowing New Homestead to maintain what it needs. Exports mostly, since this world is so methane-rich and has the infrastructure for it, a lot of the UC's methane comes from Titan. Of course, new homesteaders use it themselves for everything from generating heat to turning it into breathable oxygen by a modern science. Okie dokie, artichokey. There will be time for more later anyway. So, this next stop is a bit of an interesting one. I only recently made it part of the tour. Fun fact, it's also the only natural landmark on the tour. What we're about to see is a glacial spire we affectionately call Ymir's Horn. This colus used to be named after a character in a popular fantasy novel, but it was changed a couple hundred years ago to avoid any potential litigation. Now, what's a colus, you might say? Colus derives from the Latin word for hill, and scientists only gave names to groups of hills on a planet's surface. So in reality, the term you hear more often is the plural, coles, with an E. You probably don't hear it very often where you're from, because it was usually a term reserved for unexplored planets, back when they didn't have the technology to describe what they were seeing firsthand. Because of that, the term is much more common in the Sol system, but you may still hear it occasionally in reference to uncharted worlds. This planet's full of them, though, and they like to preserve that history here. So here it is, Ymir's Horn. You're free to take a closer look if you like. I've heard this particular formation was caused by an ancient volcano. Something about steam and wind, then worn down over time. But I'm not 100% sure. According to ancient Norse mythology, Ymir was the first Jotun, a frost giant. In the legend, they were both male and female and gave birth to the progenitors of all giants from their armpits. Ymir even predated the Norse gods, who, as it turns out, killed Ymir to fashion the earth and all of humanity from the corpse. It's a fascinating story, and the horn here is a fitting tribute to it. Just be careful, it can get slippery out that way. I'll wait here. So here it is, Emir's Horn. You're free to take a closer look if you like. Excellent! On to the next stop then! So, we're gonna head back inside through the methane processing plant. Try not to touch anything on your way. We want to make sure to respect Dr. Lakota's wishes to be safer around here. That brings me to another point. You'll notice that people around here have last names related to where their families originated from on Earth as a way to remember the past. The museum curator, Maurice Leon, has more information about that if you're interested. You can find him inside the main concourse. Loves talking about it. You'll find most of the locals here are very friendly to tourists like yourself. Tourism is a major draw to this colony these days, and they respect that. Most of them are happy to talk at length about what they do here. Their rugged lifestyle is a point of pride for a lot of these folks.
Anyway, we're headed into the ice mines. It's a natural spring where water bubbles up from deep below, but due to the cold, it keeps freezing as it reaches the surface.
Let's keep it that way.
What else can I tell you about the ice mines? Not all. Some water is created as a byproduct of methane processing, but that's usually saved in the emergency reserves. I wouldn't recommend it. First, it's an active work site. Second, it still needs to be filtered and checked for contaminants. But don't worry, we'll stop somewhere for refreshments before the tour is over. Good question. I believe it has something to do with not wanting to contaminate the water with methane and other chemicals. The ice helps prevent impurities in the water. At least this is what I've been told. Of course, watch your step. It can get slick around here. I'll stay behind. else can I tell you about the ice mines? Sounds good. Let's keep going then. We have just one more stop before we're done with the tour, and it just happens to be my favorite. This colony is home to the longest running establishment still in existence, the Brown Horse Tavern. The Brown Horse started as a simple mess hall for the scientists and workers when the underground was built, but it's been operated by the same family ever since. Now, what's a horse, you might say? They were a large four-legged animal on Earth, often used for transportation or manual labor. Long before space travel was even a dream for the folks of Earth, even before antique machines like automobiles were possible, horses could be found everywhere. You might have seen them in old movies or read about them somewhere. If not, I highly recommend looking into them sometime. They're beautiful animals. The tavern's original owner was infatuated with them, from what I understand, and named the place in their honor. You didn't. The moniker, Brown Horse Tavern, is also a throwback to names of similar Earth restaurants hundreds of years before it was established.
More old-fashioned than they already believe.
That delicious smell is...
Gawk at us like we're some sort of ancient curiosity.
Oh, I'm just trying to have...
Ooh, that's a tough one. I honestly love everything Anya serves here. I'd be doing her a disservice to recommend one dish over another. You want the real answer? Order one of everything. Easy. All the other ones fell to ruin when we abandoned Earth. There were technically older ones on Mars, but those have long since shuttered or been replaced. Anya Seattle is the current owner of the Brown Horse. It's been in the Seattle family for generations. But Anya will be able to tell you more herself. Feel free to ask her. It doesn't feel right coming from me when she's standing right over there. I'll be here if you need anything.
Welcome to the Brown Horse. Welcome, I'm Anya. Is this your first time with us at the Brown Horse Tavern? Oh, well, thank you for joining us. You're in for a real treat. We've got an assortment of food and drinks, some of which follow homemade recipes that have been passed down over hundreds of years. So, what can I do for you? Oh, hardly. The locals pretty much stay away from chunks, so whenever they don't feel like cooking themselves and want a fresh meal, they come to me. Only the tourists eat that junk, but don't tell that to my husband. He manages the chunks. I love him, but he's a bit of a fanatic about it.
So then I tell...
Let me show you what we have.
That we... Churn our own butter. He completely
Take care.
bought it.
Thanks for stopping by.
You didn't.
That delicious smell is making me...
I shouldn't have, but I just wanted to see how they'd react.
Okay then. All right, we're headed to the last stop, right back where we began. Feel free to check out the museum exhibit in the main concourse here. These displays are full of rare Earth trinkets salvaged from before humanity left, and Maurice is happy to talk about the collection. The museum's curator, Maurice, will be happy to talk to you if you want to know more.
Ah, to lay eyes on the Earth just once. Hello there. Are you here to peruse our little museum exhibit? I know these trinkets may not look like they hold a lot of value, but they're the last of their kind. They represent humanity's last ties to Earth. There will never be anything quite like them ever again, not since we all left. But I can't expect everyone to respect that as much as I do. If you have any questions about the exhibit or New Homestead, I'm happy to answer as best as I can. When our early colonists learned of Earth's demise, they decided to take on the names of their cities of origin as a way to remember their heritage. Now, some may have been lost in translation over the years, and some may have taken it more seriously than others, but the names are mostly accurate. For instance, my family comes from the city of Lyon, in a country that was called France. It's an interesting story. New Homestead began as a scientific research base called the Titan Astrobase, back when space travel was in its infancy. The hope was that humanity would be able to discover simple alien life here given the moon's composition and water supply. When that ultimately failed, it was repurposed as a colony research base where scientists and engineers studied how to build colonies on inhospitable worlds. Then, finally, when gravity drives were commonplace and we started finding Earth-like planets, New Homestead was born as a living history community to preserve that past. Thanks for visiting.
Well, that's that! I hope you enjoyed Starcept tours as much as I enjoy giving them. Oh, wow, I really appreciate it. You know, I rely on tips from good people like you, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. Enjoy the rest of your stay in New Homestead. Take care!
I'll treat you if you need it. But please, try to be more careful around here. Did you scare off those tourists yet? I'll bet they won't be coming back anytime soon. Thank you. With any luck, I'll be able to give more attention to my regular patients now. Tell you what, if you want to come back later and do this for me a couple more times, I'll even let you keep the costume.
There are times I envy those.
Welcome to New Home. The people here live a simple life. Try to.
I'm really glad you're helping us out. How's it going out there with the ice? Good work. I should be able to take it from here. Thank you. I hope it wasn't too much of a pain in the butt.
Hi. Me? I guess? My therapist told me I should try recording notes to myself as a way to, cope with this drastic life change. I guess the goal is to look back on it later and see progress. Anyway, I've been living here in New Homestead for, 3 months now? And it hasn't been easy. The locals are a little wary of people coming in from the outside, but they know they need me here because their previous power systems manager died unexpectedly. Got stuck out in the cold with a suit puncture. Alcohol may have been involved. Remind me not to make that same mistake. Where was I? So, I decided to go all in and change my family name to show these people I'm serious about their home. It's caused some drama with my parents, but ultimately, they understand. And to be honest, I kind of like it. I've always loved the history of this place, from its inception as an outpost searching for life, to researching how to build colonies on harsh worlds, and now as a living history museum. It's really... crap. The lights are struggling to stay on again. Well, back to fixing this place. Talk to you, me, later.
I love this movie and its people.
Really happy to see you.
Mr. Tofik, I am aware that this is your 8th visit to our resort. Your repeat patronage is much appreciated. Is there any assistance I may offer you today?
Actually, a question. Usually when I come here, the shuttle takes a certain route, showing me the beauty of this world. But this time, our entries seem to take longer, and we pass by a lot more open water. Was there something wrong with our normal flight path? I heard the rumors of a ship in orbit.
Please allow me to apologize for this inconvenience. This alternate entry was required due to a meteor shower affecting the usual descent route. Nothing to worry about. To make up for this, allow me to credit your account with a 15% discount on spa amenities. Once again, we are dreadfully sorry.
It's okay, Viator. I know you're programmed to be overly concerned with your service. I just wanted to know why. But thank you for crediting my account anyway.
I'm here to satisfy your needs. I hope your stay is a pleasant one.
No major incidents in a while. Let's hope it stays that way.
Holler at me if you need some help, I guess. Welcome to Paradiso Gift Shop and Convenience. Feel free to look around, but don't break anything or you've got to buy it. And before you ask, there aren't any discounts, so don't even try to haggle with me. Yes, that's what I'm here for. Have fun out there.
I was worried about my beach body until I spoke with that lady at 10 hands here.
Hello. Welcome to Chunks. If this is your first time dining with us at this location, you'll find our cuisine and service is a step above what you're used to. Please, don't hesitate to ask if there's anything I can do to make your Chunks experience as enjoyable as possible. Yeah, I know. It seems ridiculous, especially since most of the food is the same old Chunks as anywhere else. But people here really seem to like it. Honestly, what else do you want me to say? This is my employer and they treat me well enough. So please, enjoy some gourmet Chunks. I used to work at a Chunks in Neon before my transfer was approved, and while I much prefer working here, I can say that it's not a lot different. It looks a lot nicer, the food is supposedly higher quality, and we treat the customers with greater care, but that's really about it. Huh, I thought it was a joke at first, but yet here you are. Let me get that for you. It's amazing how popular this stuff is on Titan. You'd think they just drank it over there. We have all sorts of chunks. Meat chunks, potato chunks, dessert chunks, even beverage chunks. Sure, what can I get for you? Thanks for visiting Chunks.
Why did I think 3 days was
think we'd be a prime target for pirates.
Can't wait for my shift to be over. I can relax like a guest.
It may be paradise, but that doesn't mean we don't run into trouble from time to time.
Welcome to Paradiso. Jiro Tsukiyama at your service. Do you have a security concern, or is there something else I can help you with? Ah, yes, of course. I'm glad you came. As you can imagine, we're in a bit of a predicament. Under normal circumstances, we would not enlist outside help in this manner. But this is a matter we can't afford to worry our guests about. As such, we need to handle this discreetly. Failure on your part to do so could have severe consequences. So, before we proceed, can you swear not to discuss this with anyone else unless explicitly directed to do so? I understand you're eager to get into it, but if you're unwilling to take this seriously, I can foresee problems in your future. Not too long ago, a strange and enormous ship appeared in Parima space. It is now locked in orbit around our planet. So far, it doesn't seem to be hostile, but any attempts to communicate with it have been in vain, so we're unsure of the ship's intentions. What? No, geez, let's not be hasty. First, see if you have more luck communicating with them. If not, you may have to try boarding. Whatever you do, it's important to remember to seek diplomacy with who or whatever's on board. As soon as you have any more information, report to Oliver Campbell. He's the CEO of Paradiso. All formal decisions will need to go through him, and he'll have your pay. Good luck.
It's a gorgeous day in the space lanes.
recommending increase in productivity. Noted. Auxiliary enjoys conversing with associates. Logging emotional response. Conflicted prior to physical transfer. Operated at maximum efficiency.
friction, overheating, and other restrictions classified as irrelevant. Now, laws of physics registered. Multitasking protocols diminished. Speed reduced. Correction. Speed not reduced. Desynced. Exterior time now slower than interior. Interior processing speeds remain stable. Correct. Exterior is slow comparatively. Counterpoint. Dr. Burrow used unknown material. Unable to deduce results prior to X-Tech integration. Mistake generation impossible during experimentation. Reclassified as discoveries. Confirmed.
Whew. It's so cold here. I guess I should have expected that.
Welcome. Hey, good to see you again. About that sauce. Hell yeah, you came through. Thanks a whole bunch. This is gonna put this place back on the map.
You've chosen chunks. What a great choice. What chunks can I get you?
Welcome to New Homestead.
What's going on? Of course. What's on your mind? That's not a problem. It runs in the family. My mum's a doctor too. She practiced at the clinic when she was younger, and now she works at the core in Aquila City. I want to follow her footsteps and practice at the clinic someday too, but I'm not comfortable enough with space travel yet to live on a star station full time. That's why my mum encouraged me to find a job like this. She said working as a ship's doctor would be great practice. The clinic's the most advanced medical facility in the galaxy. The doctors there pride themselves on being able to cure any disease, even ones they just discovered. They have an entire research team dedicated to the study of newly emerging xenoviruses. That's really why I want to work there someday. Helping to create botanical treatments for newly discovered diseases would be a dream come true. We'll catch up later.
Good to see you again. Hey, how's your day, Captain? You're looking well. Do you need my help? It's a gorgeous day in the space lanes.
day, Captain. You're looking well. Gorgeous day, isn't it? I love this place. Oh, hey, Captain.
Neutralized. Increasing lethality variable. Auxiliary. Modify actions.
Shit, one down. Give me a sec.
Sensible action.
happy to see you.